Yo, what's up, buddy? Whether you're all about explosions, zombies, or some good old human drama when everything goes sideways, you're in the right place. Today, we're counting down the top 10 apocalypse movies you need to stream in 2025. And trust me, these aren't just random picks. They're hand-picked bangers guaranteed to blow your mind. So grab your snacks, hit that like button so you don't lose this vid. And if you're wondering where to stream these films, just check the first pinned comment. I got you covered. This is Filmflix, and let's dive into the madness.
It's weird, isn't it? You come back and everything's sort of different.
I suggest you get on.
All right, kicking off our list at number 10, this one's an absolute banger. The World's End 2013 is a comedy sci-fi mashup directed by the legend himself, Edgar Wright. You know his movies bring the energy. Starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, this is the final piece of the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy. If you loved Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, oh man, you're in for a ride. So, our guy Gary King, played by Simon Pegg, is still clinging to his wild youth. Leather jacket, old school tunes, the whole vibe. He reunites his childhood crew for a legendary 12-bar pub crawl, but things go off the rails when they realize their hometown's been taken over by aliens. Yep, aliens. In the middle of a beer-fueled reunion, this movie is a total blast. Hilarious, action-packed, and packed with that signature Edgar Wright style. The comedy, top-notch. The sci-fi twists, insane. And somehow, it even gets you in the feels. If you want laughs, chaos, and a little nostalgia all in one, The World's End is the move. Cheers to that. All right, coming in at number 9. This Is the End is an absolutely wild comedy sci-fi ride from 2013. Imagine a bunch of famous actors playing totally exaggerated versions of themselves. Pure chaos, right? It all starts with Jay Baruchel visiting his buddy Seth Rogen in LA. They hit up a party at James Franco's house, packed with celebs, just vibing and having a blast. But boom, suddenly the world starts ending. Like full-on biblical apocalypse. Now Jay, Seth, Franco, Jonah Hill, Danny McBride, and Craig Robinson are trapped inside, trying to survive while everything outside turns into madness. No food, major personality clashes, and the most ridiculous over-the-top moments you can imagine. Plus, surprise celeb cameos make things even crazier. It's got self-aware humor, insane situations, and non-stop laughs. An end-of-the-world comedy like no other.
What is that? That is London.
Sliding into number 8, Mortal Engines is a crazy sci-fi adventure from 2018. The future's not all shiny. Cities are now massive, rolling around on wheels, hunting down smaller towns for resources. Yeah, you heard that right. It's total survival of the biggest, and it's wild. Hester Shaw, a tough young woman, is out to take down Thaddeus Valentine, the powerful leader of London. She teams up with Tom Natsworthy, and together, they're running, fighting, and trying to survive. Along the way, they meet rebels who want to change the system. The visuals are next level with a steampunk vibe, making everything feel alive. Epic chases, explosions, and jaw-dropping moments keep you glued to the screen. If you want something fresh and bold, Mortal Engines is definitely worth a watch.
10 years ago in Raccoon City, there was an outbreak.
Rolling into number 7, Resident Evil: The Final Chapter is a high-octane action horror flick from 2016 that wraps up the epic Resident Evil saga. Alice, played by the unstoppable Milla Jovovich, is back to save the world from the chaos caused by the Umbrella Corporation. She's got to head back to Raccoon City, where it all started. But now, it's a total wasteland, filled with deadly traps, freaky creatures, and non-stop danger. As Alice fights her way through, she teams up with some familiar faces and faces off against crazy powerful enemies. The mission: stop Umbrella from unleashing a virus that could wipe out humanity. No pressure, right? Packed with intense fight scenes, insane stunts, and Alice being an absolute badass, this movie brings the action you crave. It's about survival, redemption, and finishing the fight. If you're a fan of the series, this final chapter is a wild ride you won't want to miss.
The annual purge will conclude in 3, 2.
Jumping into number 6, The Forever Purge is a horror action thrill ride that's pure chaos. It's 2048, and The Purge, the night where all crime is legal, has been banned by a new president. Sounds good, right? Wrong. A group called the Purge Purification Force decides they're not done, so they bring back the Purge forever. No safe days, no rules, just non-stop violence. At the center of the madness are Adela and Dylan, a couple fighting to survive. As chaos spreads, they team up with others to fight back and escape the nightmare. It's intense, emotional, and non-stop action. What makes it stand out is how fast society falls apart without rules. If you love thrillers that dig deep into survival, resilience, and fighting for what's right, this one's a must-watch.
Why are you still alive?
Why are you?
Sliding into number 5, I Think We're Alone Now is a sci-fi thriller that turns the whole end-of-the-world thing into a deeply personal story. After a mysterious apocalypse wipes out most of humanity, we meet Dell, played by Peter Dinklage, who's living his best solo life in a quiet town, just reading books, burying the dead, and keeping things chill. Then bam, Grace, played by Ella Fanning, shows up. She's the total opposite of Dell, energetic, curious, and full of life. At first, it's awkward, but they start building a rhythm together, cleaning up abandoned homes and reconnecting with what it means to be human. When more survivors show up, things get complicated, and the peaceful world they built feels less stable. This movie is all about connection, isolation, and rebuilding after everything falls apart. If you want a heartfelt, slow-burn story that'll stick with you, this one's a hidden gem.
Dad, you've protected me all my life. Now it's my turn to protect you.
Rolling into number 4, Maggie is a horror drama that completely flips the zombie genre. This one's not about chaos or brain-eating madness. It's quiet, personal, and packs a real emotional punch. Wade, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, is a dad in a world where a zombie virus is spreading. But instead of instant transformations, it's a slow, heartbreaking process. When Wade's daughter, Maggie, played by Abigail Breslin, gets infected, he decides to bring her home and care for her. The movie focuses on their bond and Wade's struggle to protect Maggie while knowing what's coming. It's not about action. It's about love, sacrifice, and doing everything you can for the people you care about. Maggie is slower, quieter, and way more emotional than your usual zombie flick. If you're into heart-wrenching stories about relationships, this one's gonna stick with you.
Hello.
Hello, Melanie.
Diving into number 3, The Girl with All the Gifts is a zombie movie with heart, brains, pun intended, and a whole lot of feels. In a world wrecked by a fungal infection that's turned most people into mindless zombies, we meet Melanie, a kid who's not your average zombie. She's smart, curious, and can control her hunger for human flesh. Pretty wild, right? Melanie and other kids like her are being studied by scientists, trying to figure out why they're different. Her bond with her teacher, Miss Justineau, is the emotional heart of the movie. Outside the facility, chaos reigns as survivors fight zombies and the military. What makes this one stand out is how it mixes horror and sci-fi with deep themes of survival, hope, and what it means to be alive. If you want something unique, heartfelt, and full of twists, The Girl with All the Gifts is a must-watch.
Plan for pandemic influenza and their intended response on the Chao Phraya outbreak.
Sliding into number 2, Before the Fire is a thriller that feels way too real. Ava, an actress in LA, gets caught in the middle of a global pandemic. A deadly flu is spreading fast, so she heads back to her small-town hometown in South Dakota, hoping for some peace. But when she rolls in, the locals aren't exactly welcoming. They remember she left for the big city, and they're not thrilled she's back. As the town gets cut off and supplies run low, fear starts creeping in. What seemed like a safe haven quickly turns dark. The townspeople get more controlling, and things get pretty scary. What makes this movie gripping is how it shows the human side of a crisis, how fear and desperation can change people. It's intense, raw, and relatable, especially with everything that's happened recently. If you like real emotional thrillers, Before the Fire is a must-watch.
It's terrorists, right? It's gotta be terrorists.
Don't use your cell phone.
Kicking off number 1, Cell is a horror sci-fi flick based on a Stephen King novel, and it's a wild ride. Imagine you're scrolling through your phone when bam, mysterious signal hits every mobile device, turning anyone using their phone into a violent, rage-filled monster. Chaos breaks out, and the world goes from chill to apocalyptic in seconds. At the heart of it all are Clay, played by John Cusack, and Tom, played by Samuel L. Jackson. These two team up with survivors, trying to stay alive in a world where anyone can snap into a psycho. It's intense, with creepy settings and tough decisions at every turn. What makes Cell interesting is how it shows technology turning against humanity. If you like horror, sci-fi, and what-if scenarios, this one's a must-watch. Trust me, you'll think twice about your phone. And that's a wrap, folks. Hope you found some new faves to add to your watch list, or maybe rediscovered an old gem. And hey, if you're into top 10 most stunningly beautiful sci-fi movies ever made, click this video. If you loved this countdown, smash that thumbs up and share it with your squad. Everyone needs more apocalyptic goodness in their life. Oh, and don't ghost us. Subscribe for more epic lists and all-around movie magic. I'm Pomode from Filmflix, signing off for today. Until next time, stay safe out there. Who knows? The apocalypse might be closer than we think.